What's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Uthenwoldt, coming at you live from the West Coast. Sorry, Jason, I messed up the coast and your name, but you can't blame me with your name. And this is the Fantasy Footballin Show. Today's episode, we're going through the list, Jason. We're going through the list, all the divisions. We've gone through I think 4 of them already. You know, we're kind of the world champions, the blah blah blahs. Now we're going to the Bills because they were a top team last year. And with the AFC East, I have messed it up 10 times today on my Googles.
I know. That's funny you say that because I keep thinking the Bills are going to be like the AFC North just because where they're located.
Dude, I swear to God, man, I keep on Googling AFC North and I'm like, that's a black and blue division.
Yeah.
The Bills are blue, but yeah, no, it's all screwed up. So anyways, Jason, before we get into the show, let's shout out to the Trap team. Trap, I think Trap music maybe. I don't know, dude. Hey, dude. Trap music.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for the subscription. We broke 100. We still have, I'm responsible. My family's responsible for 10 subscriptions. Once we get to 120, 150, I'm going to feel like we have an amazing audience. I mean, we already have an amazing audience, but a big audience, over 100. So Jason, that was a big breakthrough for us. Thank you, Trap music or Trap something.
Yeah. T period, R period, A period, P period.
I texted you the picture. You should know this by heart. And also, shout out to Camden Garfield, dude. You've commented on a lot of our stuff. I almost said the S word, but I said stuff at the last second. Jason, I believe you have a question from him.
Before we go into that, if y'all can add to this success that we're getting, that we're loving. Tyler says he wants to get to 120 before he really cares about the channel. You're seeing subpar, Tyler. Just wait till we get that 120, and you're going to get the above par, Tyler. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's like letting the tiger out of the cage, man. He belongs in the circus when this happens. Anyway, to help that out, if you want to see Tyler as a tiger, Tyler Tiger, give a little bit more subscriptions. That'd be great. We appreciate it. Just hit that button. You get the alerts. I've already had a few beers before we started this. Get some likes. We got quite a few likes on some shorts earlier this week, and views and comments. We love the comments. We love the interaction. And if you also want to get additional comment or additional content, check out the Fantasy Footballin Show at Instagram.
Thanks, Jason.
Why was that the hardest one to ever say?
Hey, dude, you heard my intro.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to do my taxes. I got all this stuff going on. I'm like, man, this is crazy. These dogs are going ape.
I'm just trying to order food, and I'm like, man, I got 30 minutes. I could probably get 2 beers in at that time.
All right, guys. So anyways, Camden Garfield had a question, Jason. What was that question?
All right. So we had a question. We're going to bring it out. I'm going to shoot it at Tyler. This is our barbecue question of the week because everybody loves barbecue and everybody loves question about fantasy football. So let's do this. Better fantasy pick, Christian Watson or Chase Claypool? How do you feel about those comparisons? Who do you feel will do better than the other?
These picks? Are you talking about these picks?
These picks? Are you talking about?
That's Robert De Niro. But yeah, dude. As far as I'm concerned,
yeah,
yeah, that's what it is. He was saying they were the same players, and I was like, yeah, dude, they're both physical freaks. Second round picks, both had their best years with an aging Hall of Fame player. And that was I think that was Chase Claypool's rookie year where he showed a ton of promise. I know the fantasy footballers liked him a lot going into this year, or maybe it was last year, I can't remember, but he underproduced. But the whole thing, yeah, I think they're the same player pretty much, as far as talent and stuff goes. There's a lot more. There's a reason they're picked in the second round. Dude, Devontae Adams, all these players have really low 40 times. You don't have to be a physical freak to be an amazing wide receiver. It's more about timing and stuff. What was I talking about, Jason?
Chase Claypool and his 40.
Oh, but the only thing is that Chase Claypool is going to be the third target, maybe even fourth in that offense now with DJ Moore. And Christian Watson is going to be the more targeted player. So, like, as I view them the same as far as like talent wise, Christian Watson has all the opportunity here. He's going to, second round talent, and he's going to be hyper. He has a chance to be hyper targeted, even though I believe he's not going to do well this year.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to agree with you on that. I think if you had a focus to anybody, it'd be Christian Watson. I get Chase Claypool. I get more like Martavius Bryant vibes. Like this guy, Martavius Bryant, he's not going to get you those 100-yard or 100 receptions in a year, but he's going to get you some touchdowns. And he's going to get you some yardage. But, he could cap out his receptions at 70. I feel that with Chase Claypool, where I think Watson will have more targets, more opportunity to score points.
Martavius Bryant, man, for some reason in my head, I got Darius Hayward Bay, man, like, DHB.
Well, he played for the Steelers too.
Yeah, later on, but he was an Al Davis pick.
Yeah, because Al Davis loved the speed.
Right. So anyways, Jason, thank you, Camden, for that. That was amazing.
There's one more thing I want to add to that, Tyler.
What?
You were talking about Christian Watson being like has a potential of being hyper focused this year. Do you remember the last time the Packers have drafted a wide receiver in the first round?
No, because I listen to Gray Jennings on some podcasts and stuff. He's always talking about how they don't do it.
Exactly. So it's not like they're going to draft a wide receiver in this draft in the first round to take over Watson. So
yeah, and they were just trying to appease, Aaron Rodgers. They prefer like late round picks and trying to develop them. But they're like, hey, Aaron Rodgers, we spent a second round pick, man. Come on, don't complain anymore. So yeah, I agree that they're probably not going to go. They're not going to do. If anything, they need to tie it in, like we were talking about.
And there's like two types. Anyways, that's a whole different episode we could go into.
All right, Jason, I've got some questions. Mama said we're gonna go start going over the Bills free agents. They've re-signed a ton of them. I mean, they got rid of Case Keenum, their backup. That was kind of big. Case Keenum going home to the Texans, and he has a real chance to play there because what's his name's got a bad back, man. His back is jacked.
And his neck.
His back and his neck. Yeah, my neck, my back, his neck and his back. And they've also acquired some free agents from other teams, Jason. Like they brought in the tight end, dude. Oh no, I thought it was a tight end. I read it as a tight end earlier. It must be a different team. But like Trent Sherfield, he was kind of okay for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But that is so anyways, talk about it, Jason.
Talk about it, Jason. Just talk about it. Isaiah McKenzie, somebody who we thought was going to have maybe a higher productive year this year. He's gone. He went to the Colts. So there is a void to fill, and they end up getting Trent Sherfield from the Miami Dolphins. And he, there were some times, when Waddle wasn't playing that he performed when Tua was playing. He's got some potential. He's 27 years old, so they were able to get him from the Dolphins. Some other people, I was looking on the offensive line. Oh, before we go on the offensive line, even though that is they like swapped out some guards. So they lost Devin Singletary. He went to the Texans, and the first thing I thought about was like, they know what they have in a running back for James Cook. This could be good. This could be glorious. And then you know what they did? They went to the Patriots and they brought in Damian Harris on a 1-year contract. And it's like, oh my gosh. So what does that mean? Does that mean anything? I feel like now we're back to James Cook kind of just, you're going to get him super late. And if you're going to get him early, you're going to, he's a risk factor where he may get the ball a lot more. He may be splitting carries. He may get the ball the same amount as he did last year because you got Damian Harris there. I don't know. I will not be getting James Cook early.
Yeah, so I mean, James Cook was my fantasy MVP last year because I thought that the Bills were actually going to run the ball, but even with the defensive coach, but they lost Brian Daboll. I mean, they regress even more in the run game. It's all unless Josh Allen, stops running the ball, they're going to have like, I don't know, dude. It's almost like I'm not going to draft a running back from the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they score a lot of points. I'm not going to draft a running back from the Bills, probably, even though they score a lot of points. And if you remember Damian Harris, dude, he's only 26 years old and he played well for the Patriots, but they've got Ramondre Stevenson and some other stuff. They don't, they're not too reliant on their backs anyways, usually in the past. That's usually like a running back by committee there. So, but I could see Damian Harris actually being better than Singletary was for this team.
The one thing I struggle with Damian Harris is that, yeah, he will get you some games. He'll probably do well in a few games, and then he'll be hurt for the rest of the year. Since he's entered the league, he's had some injury seasons. I think that was also part of the reason why Bill Belichick was like, "Yeah, you could go somewhere else. We're
But
okay."
yeah, well, I forget what they spent on James Cook last year. If it was a second or third round pick, I can't remember. But they spent, some draft equity on running backs last year. I probably kind of don't see them doing that again this year, even though this is a deep running back draft. They'd be smart too, because I mean, they need more offensive linemen. They've got some offensive linemen in danger of retiring and stuff like that. We can talk about that, Jason. But what the Bills need most is a running game, and I don't know. As far as fantasy goes, I'm not taking the risk. I mean, if it's low enough, I'd probably take Damian Harris over James Cook still, which sucks because I'm a James Cook believer, but he's just more of a third down back.
Yeah, there's a chance. I see as Damian Harris and Singletary almost kind of being the same back in this offense. You know, I could see that. I could see that. The one thing it sucks, but it's like I'll be hoping that Harris gets injured so James Cook could be the guy for those games that Harris is setting out. But you said it before, the Chiefs and the Bills are very high power offense, but they do most of their scoring through the air. They don't really like to run the ball much, so it's like the running backs they're scary to get. Even though people are like Isaiah Pacheco, they're going to be a top 5, top 10 running back. Yeah. I'm like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? Like, he's a great runner. He can run fast, but
yeah,
they score their touchdowns through the air, even when they're like within the 2 yard line. Man, it's like I'd be surprised if any running back from these two teams are going to be in the top 10, 12, maybe in top 15 fantasy next year.
yeah, I would agree, Jason. And then there's a big one I want to talk to you about. Are you okay with talking about the offensive line real fast?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Bring it on, dude. Bring it on.
Connor McGovern.
Yeah.
And there's two of these. There's one on the Jets too, which the one on the Jets.
It's his dad.
See, I don't. Man, he had a kid when he was like 2 years old.
2 years old, man. He was popping them out. Or help. Yeah. But the Cowboys were okay to get rid of this dude. I think the Cowboys, they were pretty much done with this guy with like mid-season. So they're all right with that. I don't think they're going to miss him.
So I was reading an article that it was like Bills, whatever, but they said the worst free signing of all time, agent signing of all time, is Connor McGovern.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, maybe they see some potential in him, but like I said, the Cowboys were okay to get rid of him. They weren't going to sign him back. I believe he even lost his job halfway through the season. So,
and the Cowboys always re-sign their dudes.
Yeah. And I think this was just like a hurry up grab. He's still 25 years old, but they lost. Oh no, they also got a guard from like David Edwards, 26 from the Rams, right? Yeah. So they ended up getting two guards, Connor and David, both 25, 26. So at least they're trying to improve that line, even though I don't know how much Connor's really going to improve.
Yeah. And dude, I forgot that they had Roger Saffold. This guy, like, I remember everybody. He went at the top of the second round of like the draft 10 years ago when I was watching that, and everybody traded up. Jeff Fisher had his mustache. He's like, "I'm not trading anybody. We're taking Roger Saffold first pick." And dude, Roger Saffold's been like an All-Pro left tackle for a long time. He's 35 years old, and he still hasn't signed with anybody, they need him to resign.
Yeah, he's in limbo right now. No one is. Yeah, to be determined. TBD. TBD. Yeah, on here it says 34. So 34, 35 years old. Also,
98% of snaps, though, dude.
Greg Von Roten. He's also their guard. He's 33. He hasn't signed with anybody. Another guard, Bobby Hart. So looks like they're really aiming for guards. Or I mean, they picked up 2 because they got a lot of going out in free agency. So, yeah, looks like they're trying to aim for the offensive line.
And also, when I watch this team, Jason, want to flip it over to defense?
Yes, because I got a question about that to you. Maybe you might know.
I just want to say first thing. Oh, so what? Let me know your question. Actually,
okay. So, do you know who their defensive coordinator is? It's okay if you don't. Leslie Frazier.
No, because I know that the coach is an old defensive coordinator. So
defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier, right?
Damn, dude, I knew that.
Well, the thing is, he's taking a year off from football. So I'm like, who's going to take over that defensive coordinator role? It looks like Sean McDermott is going to actually be playing doing the calls on the defensive side. So he's going to go back to the defensive side of the ball for his coaching, which that's kind of interesting.
Bill Belichickian. That's Bill Belichickian.
Yeah, but I was like just wondering to use, like, if you heard that, do you know if they have?
Dude, that's the first I've heard of that, and my impression is that is good. As much as I like Leslie Frazier, I mean, dude, and Leslie Frazier does deserve another head coaching job. He got screwed when he took over the Vikings. But man, I would love to see what Sean McDermott can do calling plays, because that's how he cut his teeth. That's how he got his job. I want to see it.
Yeah. Well, I know he's not going to get it for a while since he's taking a year off from football. So
no. I'm saying I want to see Sean McDermott do it, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Leslie Frazier.
And I don't think there's going to be a drop off. I should say that. And then Jason, dude, that Phillips as an interior defensive lineman, I thought he was amazing last year when I watched the Bills. He still hasn't resigned. He's 31 years old, and he only played in 30% of snaps. But I remember this huge interior defensive lineman for the Bills causing havoc, and that was Phillips. I remember that.
Yeah, he re-signed for one more year.
Did he? Okay, so yeah. I printed this out today on overthecap.com. So I can't take responsibility for this. This is the best information that my people have given me.
My people. Our resources that we don't have to pay for.
Right.
But yeah, it says 1 year, $3 million. So.
And then, Jason, you know, the Bears are going back to 1985 and paying their linebackers.
Yep.
Tremaine Edmonds, 25 years old, making like bank, dude. What is it?
72 million.
18 million per year.
72 total.
41.8 guaranteed. Good for Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, he's kind of like in that who's the dude for the Chargers? I can't think of right now.
Bosa?
No, man, the Delvin. Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
The linebacker, Ingram?
No, he's a linebacker and a safety.
Oh, Derwin James.
Derwin James. He's in that kind of cut mold or whatever, and it's just as much as I like defense, linebacker's not a position that I would want to pay right now, unless you're getting like 10 plus sacks a game or maybe 8 plus sacks not game. Season. But yeah, Jason. So I think it's probably smart because they've got to pay other people. They paid Poyer instead of him. Yeah, Poyer's back. He resigned. 31 years old, but they did lose 2 of their safeties. Taylor, I want to say Rapp, R-A-P-P. It's like R-A-P-P. That's a Rapp. He went to the Rams, and then Jaquan Johnson, he went to the Raiders. So it looks like they might be kind of missing a few people when it comes to the secondary, and they might even their strong safety, Dean Marlowe, even though I don't think he was a big impact, but looks like they might be targeting some secondary when it comes to the draft. With this being said, too, also remember Von Miller is going to be back next year, but he's going to be a year older.
with a repair knee.
What's better, Jason? A year older Von Miller or a year old Von Miller? Wah! Six quarterback.
Well, all depends. Is he my son? Is he my son? I ain't dealing with that. Probably a year old or a year older. You got me all tongue tied.
All right, Jason.
That was good. That was good, Tyler.
Dane Jackson is coming back. They re-signed him. He played 79% of snaps as a cornerback.
Dang.
So that's good for their secondary. Because you know who they need to beat to get into the Super Bowl is now they've got to go against Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. So secondary and pressure on the quarterback is huge.
Yeah, they got to get to those quarterbacks. You know, it's funny that you even say that because we talked about it when we did this for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have no wide receivers, and they were still able to do whatever they want. So I think, yeah, you got to cover the wide receivers, but you got to get that pressure on those quarterbacks. Those top-notch quarterbacks, as you were saying, Tyler, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, you got to get to them. You got to knock them down. You got to knock them down.
And Jason, I've heard the same a million times. This is the last guy's played a lot of snaps, and 90% of them, 29 years old, making bank for a linebacker. This is why they had to let Tremaine Edwards go. They decided to pay Matt Milano over Tremaine Edwards, even though Tremaine Edwards is like 4 years younger, which I find pretty interesting. But yeah, he's making 14 mil per year, whereas Tremaine is making 18. So I don't know, man. I know Milano is like an all-pro linebacker.
Yeah, well, I mean, Edmonds was probably the top linebacker in this free agency, but at least you still got somebody to kind of fill that gap.
They had to pay one. So, and then Jason, that's pretty much all I have for free agents. If you want to talk about somebody,
yeah. Who do we got? I just want to say Jameson Crowder went to the Giants. Are you okay, Tyler? Was that?
Oh, I'm just thinking.
Is that bad?
You want to talk about Jamison Crowder, man? How old are we?
Sorry,
what year is this? 2015.
Sorry, this is honorable mentions. Shoot, where was I at? Oh yeah, guard also guard David Edwards. He went to, or they got him from the Rams. And then I don't know if you remember this guy, Tyler, but Tywan Jones. Remember that running back?
Well, he was a running back for the Raiders. I was like, I saw his name. I was like, oh man, I remember Tywan Jones. I wonder if he played with Justin Fargas.
He might have, because he's 34 years old, so he might have played for them. And the famous Shaq Lawson.
Shaq Lawson. I forgot about that.
He's in limbo right now too. He hasn't been signed with anybody, but I think I'm good. I think
Shaq Lawson, dude. He was good for what, like a couple of years.
I used to like him. I like him.
All right, so let's go over what the beat writers are saying on the Buffalo Buffalodown.com.
Dang. Okay.
Buffalo Down. Man, these guys have amazing names. Offensive line, Jason. So Dawkins was rated. Yeah. So, anyways, like, despite the conference, hasn't. Yeah. So, anyways, they have like pretty bad. Oh yeah, dude. So Saffold had a 43.7 rating out of 100. Their top offensive lineman had a 70 out of 100. So that's why they're saying like this is a big concern when you look at like advanced stats and stuff like that. Like, there's a reason why, as what's his name has to run so much. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on Josh Allen.
Yeah, that could be one of the reasons, but also I know that dude likes to really hold on to the ball a lot too, and he likes to run. He is a running quarterback. That is part of the reason why they even drafted him, because he's big enough to take those hits. But yeah, you still want to do, in this league, you want to be a passer first. You want to be able to pass the ball first. So you're going to have to be able to protect your quarterback so he can get through reads. You want like running to be like your third or fourth option. So you got to make sure you protect him so he can go through the options before he decides to run.
Yeah, and there you go. So so offensive line, we talk about this all the time, dude, where the teams are made in the trenches, man, the trenches, trench warfare. Defensive line next, Jason. So they only have 2 defensive linemen that are on free agents. We talked about them, Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips, and this just kind of answered my question. Phillips was doing amazing until he got his shoulder injury, and then he had to quit playing, and then played very limited towards the end. So that was a big thing. And then they say Von Miller's going to be back at some point. He's not going to be back in the beginning of 2023. It's going to be more towards the middle of the season, apparently. And so it's just like they don't have a lot of youth on their best offensive linemen are old, or defensive linemen are old, so they want to go young. I mean, and they're so late in the draft, they're not going to be able to get those 2 top defensive linemen, interior defensive linemen. But I think there might be some edge rushers available to them, and they need to probably go, defensive line first, if I had to guess.
Okay. As we can see during this free agency, they are working on the offensive line. So working on the defense, getting the defense of the first couple of rounds. I think that might be their goal, and that's probably what they're going to end up doing. But you're right, they do have a later pick, but still, there's quite a few defensive rushers and tackles out there that they could draft for.
Yeah, and the reason I think that they're going to go defense first over, even though offensive line is their number 1 need, is because they have Josh Allen, who can just kind of make an offensive line work, and they have a defensive coach. So
Also,
that's the only reason.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's a good take. That's a good take. I also feel like they're probably going to go that way just because I feel like there was type of a little bit of a drop off in the for Well, I know it's in fantasy that there was kind of a drop off when it came to defense because the Bills was like one of the teams of a must have 2 years ago, but then last year it was you know you were kind of doing a whole thing where they weren't an automatic start, especially when Von Miller left.
Oh man, they were like the best defense in the league, and then halfway through the season, it's like you're unstartable almost. So they fell apart. They went from like being the best historically the best defense of all time. They came out against the Super Bowl champ Rams and like killed them. But then we realized the Rams sucked. Anyways, the schedule favored them in the beginning, and then they just kind of fell apart.
I remember that because I think you and I both had the Rams actually winning that game, and then the Bills just came out and dominated, and we're like, "What the heck? The Bills are unstoppable!" And then we were like, "Oh no, the Rams are just very horrible this year," and they got Baker Mayfield as a quarterback.
Took a while to realize how bad the Rams were going to be, even though like I should have paid attention to Andrew Whitworth, whatever his name is, leaving and all that kind of stuff. I keep on thinking that's I want it and I want it. I want my money and I want it. J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
It's my money and I want it now.
We'll get on a bus together, Jason. We'll sing. Anyways, moving forward, again, another defensive position. We talked about this. You're going against Burrow and Mahomes. You need some pressure on the quarterback. You need some help on the back end. So safety, this is before Poyer resigned when they wrote this. They said they said for them to be okay, they need Poyer to resign and DeMar Hamlin to be okay to return. And I wouldn't count on him returning this next year, especially with all like the health and concussions. I mean, that was such a big deal. That was a national story. So like they want to err on the side of safety. I would imagine Roger Goodell getting involved in that.
Yeah, Roger Goodell just got approved for another extended contract too by the owners.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Roger Goodell, but whatever. When we need answers from stuff, he just goes and hides in a cave, man. But I think that's what the owners want. So
set an appointment with my secretary, and I'll get back to you when I can.
All right, that's why you never call me back. So, but yeah, dude. So safety, we talked about that. Has Micah Hyde, Saron Neal, Hamlin, and Jared Maynor. And I've heard of Micah Hyde and Hamlin. And Hamlin, I never heard of him before he got a heart attack.
Yeah, is he going to play next year? Like, what's the deal with him? Is he going to play next year?
Right. So, anyways, Jason, that's all of what the Bills are saying right now. But off the top of my head, I do want to say I think they need a wide receiver.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they may not feel the same as us just because they went out and also got the Miami Dolphin wide receiver, Trent Sherfield.
He's not better than Gabe Davis.
He's not better than Gabe Davis, but he could play that slot, maybe like Isaiah McKenzie was able to. They're going to keep Stephon Diggs, and I see them keeping Gabriel Davis too. So I think that's just us wishful thinking because Gabe Davis, everyone had high hopes for him, and then he ended up just being a bang or bust dude, which sucked. But I'd be surprised if they actually get a wide receiver, even though I wish they would. For fantasy values, I wish they would.
Oh, I'm just thinking, like, dude, I mean, most teams other than the Chiefs have like a 1-2 punch. And like, I mean, if you could give a big bodied wide receiver to opposite to Stephon Diggs, like, dude, like a Sidney Rice, you know what I'm talking about?
I remember him.
Sidney Rice was amazing. I thought he was the next Randy Moss. But yeah, dude. So if I was them, offense wins games these days, and I would totally want a number 2 wide receiver to take the pressure off of Diggs.
Yeah. We'll see what that happens. They probably will keep their faith in Gabriel though.
Oh,
then. Alrighty then.
Alrighty then. If you haven't seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, go watch the second one and then think of yourself if your dad took you to go watch that. It's pretty crazy.
The second one? Man, the second one was pretty funny. That's the one where he's coming out of the rhino's anus.
Dude, my dad and I watched that. Like, we cried. We both cried. Like, I cannot believe you took me to go watch, because there were some, scenes, some self-pleasure scenes that were pretty crazy. But man, that go watch that rhino giving birth, and you will laugh till you cry.
He's all turn on the fans in the rhino, and he's all
hitting the fan.
It's warm.
Yeah. Then he tries to get out, and it's like,
okay.
All right, Jason, I'm ready for the next video if you are.
All right. Well, I will send you an invite, and until then, fantasy football and friends, think about us. Where's the stop button?
Stop it.
Hold on. Think about it
now. Okay. What's up, fantasy people? We're just talking about, Stranger Things and Metallica. How I've never seen Stranger Things, but I love Metallica. So give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Yeah.
I was like, I used to work out to that song, man. I know what you're talking about.
Keep your free throws in.
It's part of the coldest, Jason.
It's one of the coldest parts of Stranger Things, man. It's one of the coldest. It's chill. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
All right. All I know about Sub-Zero is Mortal Kombat, dog. Anyways, so we talked about the leaders of the division, AFC East, the Bills, and all their needs and, offseason moves and all that stuff. Now we're going to talk about number 2, Jason. Number 2. And you know who they work for? They work for Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, and it's funny because before we even went to the break, you were talking about Ace Ventura, the second one. Well, if you know Ace Ventura, the first one, it's all about the Miami Dolphins and their mascot. Who's
Finkel? Ray Finkel.
Was Dan Marino a part of it? Stay tuned.
Hey, man, that Ray Finkel was trans before it was popular.
Yeah. And Jim Carrey did not care until he figured it out.
Well, he brushed his teeth a lot, because he made out.
Yes. And he finally realized, do not go in there.
Woo! Woo! I still say that to my wife.
I say that to my coworkers.
I bet you do. Hey, one time Jason clogged my sister's toilet and just left, man. And then my sister was like, who clogged the toilet? I was like, I don't know. It wasn't me.
I told you to blame Kevin, and you never did.
It's on tape. All right. So anyways, Jason, first off, even though there's a huge defensive move here, we're going to go offense because we go offense. Hey, if you watch like tight end U for the last whatever years, this was like the breakout tight end everybody was talking about. I even talked about him breaking out because of George Kittle and Mike McDaniels. Mike Gesicki, dude, they moved on from him.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure who their tight end is now, which makes me okay. Well, they did get this guy named Eric Subert. Subert, I don't even know who that is. He's probably
In the Broncos, I remember that.
yes from the Broncos. He's probably number 2 or 3 on the depth chart, number 28. There are a few tight ends to get in the NFL draft. Maybe they're aiming for that, but Mike, my jet ski, in a crazy move, my jet ski went to the Patriots, and that
Good
was
thing the Patriots are by water, man. They're on the coast.
yes. I mean, I don't think my jet ski works on grass, but they're close to the water at least. They got Danny McBride getting caught in the middle of the lake. Only if he had my jet ski, he could have made it through. But yeah, that was a surprising ordeal, just because the Patriots have Hunter Henry to begin with, but anyway, the Dolphins, they don't have a tight end, so
Man, I'm trying to figure out. I was about to Google Kenny Powers jet ski and
Oh.
see what song was playing.
his jet ski was also from like the 80s. It was like all that crazy
Paint,
Saved by
like
the
purple.
Bell.
It was like purple with leopard flames.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Make sure to fill up my jet skis so they can last on the lake and not caught in the middle. No
That
gas.
was great. That was great, Jason. So they did not re-sign Teddy Bridgewater. I am a Vikings fan. Teddy Bridgewater is an amazing quarterback until he shatters his leg into 1,000 pieces.
Didn't he get it amputated?
Almost. They're like, oh, should we amputate this thing?
Doctor. We need to amputate this thing.
We need to go to the hospital. What is it? The hospital is a place where we take people with broken legs.
But that's not important right now.
So yeah, dude. Teddy Bridgewater performed almost as well as Tagovailoa last year, but he still got injured. And I could just see them wanting to get somebody. They brought Mike White in, who's just like, if you put Mike White in the right system, he's gonna do great. So he dumps off to running backs a lot, so that's something to notice if they do turn to him. But until then, business as usual. Draft Jalen Waddle.
Yes. I think Mike White under their head coach McDaniels. I think that's a good fit for like a number 2. I think Mike White can still do well in that system when needed, when called upon. He could wear that cape, and I think he could do pretty well as a backup. One thing that also kind of shocks me here is that, okay, first off, the Dolphins were 27th in the league, averaging 96 rushing yards a game, and they went out and they brought Jeff Wilson Jr. halfway through the season. They go and re-sign him, and then they go and re-sign Raheem Mostert, who's like he's in 30 this year, which 30 on a running back is no bueno, no mas. And so now I'm thinking, I'm like, if they're resigning these two, I think they feel pretty content as with the running backs. And Tyler, they also re-signed that dude Gaskins or something like that. So they re-signed their running backs. So for being last in towards the bottom quarter of the league in rushing yards per game, not even hitting 100, I guess they still believe in their running backs.
Yeah, Michael Gaskin was a breakout candidate. I mean, he did well, dude. And then like people were drafting him like 4th or 5th round last year. I can't remember. Maybe not last year, but maybe the year before that. And he's disappointed ever since he got like the main deal. Yeah, I want to say he got a big contract last year, and then people drafted him. But Chase Edmonds, they brought in Chase Edmonds. Dude, they just keep on bringing all these ex-49er running backs, and it's like, yeah, dude, I love Raheem Mostert, but he didn't show any of those. I was waiting for those 50-yard plus touchdowns, and he didn't get those. He was just getting touchdowns. So like, yeah, he's getting older. His explosiveness is going down. He probably has the way he runs. He's probably got CTE, and he's going down. He just keeps on getting down. That's terrible. He's gonna make more money than I've ever made in my life. So yeah. Hey, man, if you're gonna get CTE, you make a lot of money. But yeah, dude. I'm hoping that they draft a running back. I'm not going to be excited about drafting a running back from the Dolphins until they draft one.
Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate. I was very surprised with these signings. They did also they lost a guard, Dan Finney, to the Jets. Oh no, they actually picked him up. He came from the Jets. He's 28 years old. They lost guard Michael. Man, my pen started giving out when I was writing this down. Dieter. Anyway, he went to the Texans, so he's no longer there. He's a jabroni. But so they're still trying to keep up with the offensive line, but I wonder, and they also lost their wide receiver, Shearfield. So I'm not sure if the Miami Dolphins have a lot of draft picks this season, but I feel like they've lost a lot of players and they're kind of just like settling right now. I feel like they're settling and not trying to go out there and get some of the top dollar players that they need that can help their offense or defense.
Yeah, and they went out and picked up last thing on offense. They picked out Braxton Berrios, who was he played only 26% of snaps for the Jets. He's 28 years old, but if you know anything about Braxton Berrios, he's like a possession wide receiver. He's almost like a Sterling Shepard type or whatever. So like he might work the slot over Sherfield, I would almost imagine. But I think him and Sherfield are going to compete for the third wide receiver because they're not drafting wide receiver with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Are you talking, Jason?
Sherfield.
Okay.
He's not a Dolphin no more. That's what I'm saying. He went to the Bills. So your possession, I don't know. Maybe they just feel like there's a lot of stuff missing for the Dolphins. They did pick up Jalen Ramsey, right?
Okay. So 99% of snaps, Jalen Ramsey,
okay,
29 years old, making $20 million a year now. And yeah, like the Rams were bad, but if you listen to people that know football, Jalen Ramsey is super versatile. Like he's really versatile. He's not just like that lockdown corner, the traditional. You can move him around, put him in the slot, do whatever you want with him. So I think that he is going to be a really good add to this defense. I don't think it's as bad of a sign as people think it is.
Well, their passing defense was pretty bad.
You're right.
So I remember last year I had a quarterback. I can't remember who my number one quarterback on my fantasy team was at that time, but I know I needed to fill in, and I started Jacoby Brissett, and it was because he was going against Miami Dolphins, and that guy put up some decent numbers for me to survive that week, and I got the win. I got the dub. The Dolphins were 28th in the league, averaging 239, eating those W's.
It's like I'm deep throating something.
Yeah, DP. Wait, hold on, DT. Defensive tackle, not deep throat. So Miami Dolphins, they were actually 28th in the league, giving up around 239 passing yards a game. Look at the division they're also in. They got the Bills. All they do is throw the ball. But now they got Jalen Ramsey. I am sure their secondary is going to improve just for having Jalen Ramsey. They got two good corners now. But they got like Xavier Howard, I'm going to say his name is Howard Xavier, something like that. And they got Jalen Ramsey on the other side. I think the secondary is going to improve. They're not going to be at the bottom anymore. Just by getting Jalen Ramsey, I think their defense is going to be better. But they still got a lot of other holes, a lot of gaps. They need to fill. They need to fill these gaps.
They haven't re-signed Melvin Ingram, who I thought was interesting because I thought Melvin Ingram was a good signing for them.
It was, Tyler. It was. Good job. They look at the people in the honorable mentions that they did not resign. First, Byron Jones, the cornerback that they got in free agency a couple of years ago. He's gone. Melvin Ingram, outside linebacker, he's gone. Eric Fisher, left tackle, he gone. Trey Flowers,
0% of snaps for Eric Fisher coming from the Chiefs, dude.
I know. And wasn't he like a first or like an first overall draft pick?
Oh yeah, I remember that year.
Trey Flowers, defensive end. gone. Greg Little, tackle, gone. This is pretty crazy, and I keep repeating myself, but there's a lot of gaps there. I think the only thing they really filled up was that a backup quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater was gone, so they went out and got Mike White.
So
But
what I will say though, Jason, is I really believe in Mike McDaniels and his offensive philosophy and his intelligence and all that stuff. So like I'm not worried about the offense. As long as Tua Tagovailoa is like healthy and standing upright, they're gonna score a lot of points. It's almost like a Shanahan type of deal right now. But everything I've heard about him, even from ex-players, current players, I really like Mike McDaniels. So but the thing is about defense, ever since they lost Brian, they were riding on, Brian Flores is like, tail or whatever you want to say, coat wings, or I can't remember how that says, but he set that defense up and he was kind of riding that last year. Now it's going to start falling off. But they got Jalen Ramsey to help. I think that's why they're kind of going heavy defense because they understand that it's going to fall off after Brian Flores.
yeah, well, they also need to work on that offensive line to protect Tua so he doesn't get his
Yeah,
concussion.
no, dude, you know what? That's no kidding, man. No kidding.
Yeah, for a fantasy factor, like, yeah, they did what they needed. I mean, I would want a better running back. Of course, I would want a better running back. I think I would try to get Jeff Wilson Jr. over Raheem Mostert for sure. But then you got Waddle, then you got Hill. So the offensive side for fantasy, like, it's pretty solid. But like as a fan, if you heard it here first, if the Dallas Cowboys were get the blown up and sent to Mars, and I couldn't watch them, my team that I would watch would be the Miami Dolphins. Um, I'm not liking what their organization is doing right now to try to win the division, to beat the Bills, to get in the playoffs, to beat other teams. But for a fantasy factor, yeah, I still like their weapons, except their running backs. But you gotta protect Tua. You gotta
Hey
protect Tua.
man, Tua saved my season when I had no quarterback. But I mean, you say save my season, but like, at least got me, I had potential for 20 plus points for my quarterback. I don't even know what that's like. Oh my God. That's why I'm going to draft a quarterback early next year, hopefully. Do you want to go to the needs, Jason, or is there anybody else that stands out to you?
Okay, so on the defensive side, we were kind of discussing it. They got David Long from the Titans. He's 26. I tell you what, if I'm going to get a linebacker from the Titans, I pretty much like that with Mike Vrabel as their head
Oh
coach.
yeah, he's coached well, and
Yeah,
all I want is Bullock, dude. Give me Bullock. He's like 45, coming out there smoking a cigar. Give me Bullock.
Bullock was awesome, dude. I miss Bullock. Offensive linebacker Duke Riley. They got him to resign. Defensive tackle John Jenkins. He went to the Raiders, and other side of outside linebacker. Oh my gosh! I swear my pin last night. I know this guy, but my pin was given up halfway through these names, and I was just like not trying to.
It's like me at work. I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to write in 32 degrees weather, and it's like it
Yeah,
works half the time.
yeah. Oh my. London Roberts. He went to the Steelers. Elandon. Elandon
Oh,
Roberts.
Landon. Oh, and he played 60% of snaps, which is significant. So, like, I missed that one. That's a good one, Jason, because,
Yeah, he went to the Steelers. So,
yeah, I'm usually looking for people that played over 50%.
oh, that's what I used to look for.
Yeah, but, like, I saw Melvin Ingram, and, I was like, oh, man, I can't believe they didn't resign him. He's 34 years old, and he's an edge rusher. So, I could totally I understand them getting young. Like, if you're a defensive tackle, you can afford to get old, but, dude, not an edge rusher.
Don't they also they got Chubb too, right?
Bradley Chubb. Oh, my God. Yeah. So, and I think he did well last year. Not as well as he did for the Broncos, but when he did well with the Broncos, he was under a defensive coach. I want to say that was Eberflus or something like that. I can't remember what that was. No. Damn, I can't remember that guy's name. He was a good. It's so funny because you can almost remember all the defensive coaches in the NFL because there's so few of them.
Right. And the defensive coach now for the Dolphins is Vic Fangio.
Yes, Vic Fangio, dude. That's who I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
look for Bradley Chubb to make a jump under his old coach Vic Fangio.
He will definitely make a jump.
Oh, dude.
He came over halfway through the season.
I'm getting a Chubb right now just thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, sacks get me hard, dog.
Oh, to be in a sack.
All right. Oh, if I was in a sack, I'd be so hard. I'd be like, oh my God. There's all this skin on skin action here.
Yeah.
So moving forward, Jason.
Moving forward, PG rated.
Hey, dude, there's some sexual content here in PG-13.
This is Pixar.
Are you ready for the Finn Cider?
Yeah. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, man, the Finn Cider, dude. The Buffalo Down, the Finn Cider. AFC East has all the good news names.
Oh, that's so cool.
Number one need. As of a team, the Dolphins gave up, 3,992 passing yards last season, almost 4,000 passing yards, sixth most in the league. And then Byron Jones is thinking about retiring apparently. So they're like, oh my God, we need a corner. We need a elite corner. We need a corner. So they went out and they addressed this by getting Jalen Ramsey. So this was written by the Finn Cider before free agency. It was just about the free agency needs. And they went and addressed their number one thing. So as far as, Dolphins fans, you should be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, for the record, Byron Jones is not retiring. He just does not want to play for the Dolphins anymore.
Not even with Jalen Ramsey, dog?
Well, I don't think he could anymore. They went out and got Jalen Ramsey, so they're not.
I was going to say they probably need to cut him because he's old enough to retire. Apparently,
he's like 30, I think. But he gave out a little tweeter, and it was about just like telling the players like, hey, when they're giving you those shots to numb up your knees, he's like, don't do it. Because if you remember Byron Jones, like he set the record for the long jump in the combine like it was like a world record. I want to say it's a standing jump, the long jump, whatever. Broad jump. He set the record for that, so that actually jumped his draft pick, and the Cowboys got him. I remember.
We call it explosive. That explosive. I'm trying to do the chronic, but I can't do it because I'm gonna say bad words.
That West Coast crap. Anyway, yeah, so he got because of that, he set the world record. He got drafted by the Cowboys, and I believe he did pretty well for him. But then he hit free agency, and he went to the Dolphins. But now, because of leg injuries and how the Dolphins like treated him, and he was just like numb the pain, so I could get back out there. He like posted something. He's like, dude, I can't run or jump anymore because my legs are so messed up. Because I didn't treat them. I was just trying to numb them with these shots, and over the years they just got so bad. He didn't even play last year just because his knees were so bad. But I think people took that as a retirement, but then he came back out and says, I'm not retiring. I'm just letting people know. I think he's trying to hit the free agency.
All right. So there you go. Cornerback. Number 2, Jason. Good inside information there. So guard. While offensive line made huge strides in 2022, they still finished the season as below average unit. As a team, they ranked 24th in pass block win rate, 55%, and 21st in run blocking, which was 71%. Teron Armstead and Center Connor had great seasons, and but they also, while guard, anyways, they still need people to help out those two offensive linemen. And we keep on talking about, Tua Tagovailoa is getting hit. So like they've got 2 good offensive linemen out of what, like 4 or 5? No, 5. 2 guards, 1 center, 2 tackles. So like they need to upgrade everything other than those 2 dudes.
Yeah, Miami's offensive line was actually 10th overall, only allowing 2.2 sacks per game. But I guess when you have somebody as fragile as Tua, you can't even allow that. So you got to improve.
Fragile. Tua is fragile. Tua Tagovailoa is fragile. Mama. Razor blades cut our garlic in the prison. What do you know about Goodfellas?
I lived a good fella.
I'm a bad fella. You a good fella. So, Jason, middle linebacker, number 3. Not since the days of Zach Thomas have the Dolphins had an elite linebacker. So, yeah, like I don't see this being a pressing need for them. They do need like edge. They need pressure, dude. Like, I'd say like they need pass rushers because they're going against the likes of Josh Allen, and they're going to need to beat Patrick Mahomes. So it's the same thing as we were talking about with the Bills. You're going to need pass rush and help in the back. They got Jalen Ramsey. Now they need a pass rush, but they got Bradley Chubb. Now you just kind of need to get them like a secondary dude to kind of like, every Chris Jones needs a Frank Clark. Frank Clark wasn't producing, so they got somebody else. I can't remember. Carlos Dunlap. But you know what I'm saying, Jason? Like, you need that interior pressure. You need 2 points of pressure on these quarterbacks these days.
Right. And that is exactly what they need to go for because teams are throwing so much against Miami that Miami's defense was actually fourth and only allowing 103 yards rushing per game. So people didn't need to rush the ball against Miami because they could throw the ball against Miami. So that.
Welcome to Miami, where the something Miami.
Welcome to Miami, Miami beat a Miami Diamond. That's Will Smith, dude. That's exactly what he said. Look at the lyrics.
Listen, I don't have to cuss to make my records. Well,
yeah.
F you and F Will Smith and F you too.
Oh, we got Eminem back. 9 Mile up in here.
They call me 9 Mile because I'm extra. I'm like the size of 2 M&Ms. I'm a peanut M&M. This fool's a chocolate M&M. They're too small. All right. Anyway, we have 2 more teams after this, Jason. We're already messed up. Number 4 is easy, Jason. Backup quarterback. Dolphins, dude. Have their long-term. They chose Tua as their long-term starter. They picked up a 5th-year option, but they did not extend him. So this year is huge for Tua. He needs to play everything. I imagine like it can't go worse than last year. You know what I'm saying? Like last year was as bad as it can get. So I do believe in Tua this year. If I had to wait on a quarterback, I would pick up Tua and just kind of roll the dice with him because he'll get you big points. He's got, dude. I mean, you look at some of the biggest scoring quarterbacks in the last 3 years. It's Tua Tagovailoa like 2 times. But other than that, that's pretty scary. How do you feel about all that?
You were a Tua owner. How many games do you think that he missed last year? I don't know the answer. I'm just wondering.
Oh, dude, like after I picked him up after what's his name got injured after week 2. And then he got injured. So probably like out of 17 games, he probably played 13.
All right, so he only missed 4 games.
That's 13, man.
3 games? I feel like he missed more than that.
Oh, how many games did he play? Oh, you don't know. I thought you just told me the answer, and I was like, I'm right.
No. Sorry, I don't know. Anyways, the whole point of that is like I feel like he may miss a little bit more, but they were still 6th in the league, averaging 261 passing yards per game. So they still average that. Tyler, that is 3/10 less than Buffalo at number 5 at 261.4. Miami was 261.1. So even with Tua not in there, they sure love to throw the ball a lot still.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That's why I don't want a running back from the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Bills. They don't run the damn ball. So there you go, man, right there. But it might change under Mike McDaniels because Mike McDaniels was a running back coach for the San Francisco 49ers. So I still have faith that this might turn around within 2 years, but am I going to roll the dice on that? If I see somebody else, like, from the Seattle Seahawks or whatever, Bijan Robinson for the Eagles, if he goes there, whatever, I'm going to take that risk and I'm going to go with the guy that has potential to get the higher volume. But there's always a chance that Mike McDaniels turns it on, man, because he was the running back coach for the 49ers, the heaviest running team in the NFL.
That's why I'm surprised their running game is such crap.
Right.
But at least they got their
your running game is crap.
Yeah. Like that's why they went out and got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I guess. For fantasy values. But you know what? Let's see. I still got faith in Jeff Wilson Jr. I still got faith in him for next year.
So to get back to this, Jason, backup quarterback, they dressed it with Mike White. I like Mike White a lot. I think he's better than any rookie quarterback, coming out pretty much. Other than I really like Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, but other than that, Mike White is a good deal. Then lastly, tight end, Jason. they got rid of Mike Gesicki to the tight end needy, Patriots because they need 2 tight ends at all time. I think they just wanted to take away from the Dolphins. It's kind of one of those double moves where you take away from your opponent.
Yeah.
So while Durham, Smythe, Hunter Long, and dude, so they really do like no established tight ends on this team, no high draft pick heritage on this team. I don't know why I said heritage, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I bet you watch the second day, their first draft pick. If they have a round 2 draft pick, they're gonna get a tight end. They have to. They got no other choice. They got no one else. I would say Irvin Smith Jr., but he just went somewhere actually. Can't remember where, but he finally got signed. I really wish I could remember. I really wish you were here to let me know that I am forgetful and I could just forget things if I don't write them down or save them to my phone. I don't think I did either. I think I just saw it. I'm like, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to bring it to Tyler. But then I forgot.
How many beers are you drinking, Jason?
I got that 9% kombucha tea. So I'm about 4 in, and I got another one.
I was thinking about drinking 6 beers tonight too, because we got 2 more episodes. So
yeah, do you know Irv Smith Jr.? He just got picked up somewhere. Senior, he just got picked up somewhere. Irv Smith.
I'll Google it right now.
Okay.
Irv Smith Jr. Google. He is. Oh, that's not right. Cincinnati Bengals. Oh crap, dude.
There you go.
Okay. So, if Irv Smith is healthy, I like him more than I like Hayden Hurst. You saw Tyler Kroft on the Bengals doing well, so Joe Burrow likes him some tight end, and yeah, Irv Smith Jr. is going to be. Dang, dude! If I don't get Travis Kelce number 1 overall next year, I might get Irv Smith Jr. later. That's a good pick.
High risk, high reward. All he has to do is stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. He is built like a premier tight end. He just has to stay healthy.
MGK and me, we're built like postage stamps.
Who's MGK?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Kelly has a machine gun?
I think he's like 6'4", but I think he's skinnier than me. But we're both built like postage stamps. We got like square, big old shoulders, and but if we turn sideways, you can't see us.
Remember, that's how you said that in like your little dodgeball thing. Remember in college where you're like, I avoid dodgeballs, well, I just turn sideways.
What do you know about this?
I'm invincible. Anyway, is there any more from the beat writers?
No, that's it, Jason. So,
all right, you ready to move forward to the New England Patriots?
Damn. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll be back.
Okay. What? Oh man, I've got the wrong picture up, Jason.
Oh, Tyler.
Hey, what's up, fancy people? We are some beers in. I got my clicker right here. I'm going to move it to the Patriots because we're going to talk about the Patriots. Jason, what about does anything jump off the page for you besides that?
Hey, talk about the Patriots. Okay. What? One of the main things for free agency this year for the New England Patriots was Jacoby Myers. We actually talked about him in our free agency show. By that time, Jacoby Myers left New England, is now going to be a Raven for 3 years, $33 million. And during that span, also, Juju Smith-Schuster from Kansas City is New England. And it's kind of funny. For some reason, I feel like Juju's been in the league a lot longer, but he's only 26 years old. But I don't find... I mean, honestly, it's kind of weird to say because he just played with Patrick Mahomes, but I see the same fantasy value with him being for New England Patriots just because he didn't blow up in Kansas City like some people thought he was going to do when he moved over there. But I don't see him doing much better in New England.
Well, so Jacoby Myers, dude, was like he had 11, 12 targets a game sometimes, and he was underneath guy, drag routes I talk about. When I watched Jacoby Myers, I really like Jacoby Myers. And I could see Juju Smith going over there. What was he good at, dude? Like everywhere he's went, he's been the underneath guy. It's just Patrick Mahomes. His underneath guy is Travis Kelce. It's not going to be, this Juju Smith guy. So there's 2 tight ends though, for the Patriots again. I can't remember if they got rid of Jonnu Smith and picked up Gesicki. We talked about that earlier. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of underneath traffic, but there is a void to fill with Jacoby Myers as far as targets. But a new offensive coordinator, Jason, I don't know how all this is going to shake out.
New offensive coordinator and Bill O'Brien. Remember that guy?
He traded Hopkins for a bag of balls.
Yeah, for a bag of balls, just because they were not getting along. But it's crazy. I'm starting to hear some rumors that there is a possibility that the Patriots might try to get DeAndre Hopkins on their team as a wide receiver, and also maybe try to get Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. So we'll see what happens. It'd be kind of interesting if DeAndre Hopkins goes back to Bill O'Brien because they have beef. So rumors until it starts. We'll see what happens. It's still early in the off season. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so with Juju Smith there and Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator, don't really see a lot of value in Juju Smith this year.
Yeah, he's making. I mean, they're paying him, $8.5 million this year, so it's a pretty decent amount for the Patriots to be spending on a wide receiver. And they have a second-year wide receiver from Baylor who was good when he played. I cannot remember his name, but with a new offensive coordinator, I think that second-year wide receiver is going to be interesting. God, man, I was all about him last year. Not Thornton, it's Thornton or something like that. I can't remember.
Be. Yeah, Thornton. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Thornton.
He's super fast from Baylor.
Rookie
wide receiver for them. I'd rather be more invested in him than all these other people. But anyways, Jason, they also lost Nelson Aguilar, and dude, Nelson Aguilar was a good wide receiver sometimes.
Yeah, he's kind of a deep threat kind of a dude. He went to Baltimore. It's not going to help out that receiving corps at all. Yeah, he went to Baltimore. So yeah, they lost a couple of wide receivers. They also lost a running back we talked about earlier, Damian Harris. And then they picked up. This was very interesting, Tyler, because they picked up James Robinson on 2 years, $4 million. He's only 24 years old. He was a guy that a lot of people were trying to get and draft because he kind of had a blowout season. And then when people drafted him, they were like, he's going to the Jets. And we're like, oh, wow, well, everyone's heard on the Jets. This should be great. Then something happened. I don't know. Maybe he got lost in New York City, like in Brooklyn. Like he got lost in the sewers or something. Because
do you guys know where the Jets Stadium is?
I'm looking for the Jets. Not the Giants, the Jets. I'm looking for the Jets. Jets. But the Patriots picked him up. That was the next time I heard of him. Was that he got picked up by the Patriots, and I think that's actually great for Stevenson. And I really want, like, I kind of want to try to get Stevenson this year as a running back.
1 second, this dog has a very important item.
Ooh, I wonder if it's $100 bill. Shoot, even if it's a $1 bill, that's very important to me. I need all the money I can get. Shoot, even if it's like a quarter, like 4 quarters or 3 quarters.
It was like some foam thing my wife uses it to apply makeup. I know she'd be pissed. I know she'd be mad.
Yeah, good call. Don't mess with the makeup. Don't mess with the makeup.
So yeah, dude. As far as Patriots go, I was gonna say there was a current NFL guy at next Patriot that was saying Lamar Jackson, the last person you want to play for is Bill Belichick, which I thought was funny. Where's my paper?
Was that Julian? Was Julian saying that?
No.
Julian was just like on some podcast saying Bill Belichick is crazy.
Yeah, and then so you remember their breakout was who's that quarter? Oh, Zappy. Don't worry, be Zappy.
Don't worry. Be Zappy.
So he's still there, but they're getting rid of Brian Hoyer. He's 38 years old, but man, Brian Hoyer was a good quarterback for a long time.
Hoyer is in the free agency limbo. He's just chilling, dude. He's trying to figure out life right now.
And like you said, dude, there's a 50-50 timeshare almost a fill for James Robinson because Damian Harris isn't Harris. I mean, when they were both healthy, they were kind of doing 50-50 there. And it's not like, and we talked about this before, Bill Belichick's always been a running back by committee. So as much as I like Ramondre Stevenson, I would not want to draft him super high just because of the fact of James Robinson. I still think could be good.
I can see that being more 60-40 Stevenson. I really like this. I really do for Stevenson. It's really keeping.
I mean, what's the highest round? What's the highest round you'd probably pick on? I mean, would you want him as your running back 2, 3?
2.
If I can get him as my number 2, I'd probably feel pretty comfortable because I'm waiting on running backs this year.
Because what you're saying is true, Tyler. There is a chance that he could be 50-50. We've seen the Patriots, like we're always like, who to start? Who to start? Ever since like LeGarrette Blount, it's like who to start? Who to start? But I mean, we saw what he did by himself last year without Harris, and I don't think James Robinson is really going to produce the way that Damon Harris did for that team. So I think he's going to get some runs, but I think they're going to rely more on Stevenson. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not too much. I don't think it's going to be 50-50. I think because Stevenson, he showed last year he could catch the ball too. I think there's a good chance that he might get the more touches to be like 60-40.
You talked me into it, Jason. You just changed my mind with all the facts and your good looks.
Well, thank you. Some people call me Arnold from the gym.
I was going to say Jason Kelce gained weight.
Jason Kelce gained weight. Yeah, they call me the thick Kelce brother. Thick.
They already got one of those, dog. So yeah, Jason. I mean, anything else stand out to you on offense?
Let's see. On offense, we talked about this. I think it was last episode that Riley
Reef. Yeah, that's one dude I was thinking about.
From Chicago, dude's 34 years old. He is he got picked up by New England, and then you got another tackle, Calvin Anderson from the Broncos. He's 26 years old. They got him. He's a tackle. On the offensive side, I think that's pretty much it right now.
I trust like the Patriots, man. They can build an offensive line out of like nobodies, and if you get an offensive line for them, linemen from them, you better watch out. But them acquiring, like sub 30-year-old offensive linemen, I kind of believe in this. They obviously see something they like in it, and they're probably gonna, make them better even than they were. So I don't know. It kind of makes me like Ramondre Stevenson even more for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I said this before. Like linemen can play a long time. They could be older as long as they stay healthy, right? If they stay healthy, I feel like, and they're good at their position, they could play there for a long time. Maybe Bill Belichick, he's got his weird strategies that he does when it comes to picking players, drafting players, whatnot. And you said it best, Tyler. They could get a bunch of nobodies and just like make a team out of it, right? He's pretty good at that. So, but we'll see. I mean, 35. He's almost 35 years old. He might be in and out of the starting lineup. I don't know. We'll see. But they are. Looks like they are also focusing with tackles, so they are focusing on that offensive line.
That's what you need to do. And so, Jason, who would you rather have, Hunter Henry or Mike Gesicki come over here?
That's funny you say that because I don't even know who I'd rather have. I'm guessing my jet ski. I'd rather have my jet ski just so I can make my fantasy team name say my jet ski on it. But overall, like New England wasn't great at throwing the ball. They were 20th in the league, barely averaging 208 yards a game. And that's with Hunter Henry, who is normally a touchdown magnet. They were relying heavily more on the run this year, and also they didn't really have much of a passing game. They were switching quarterbacks in and out all year. I feel like if with Hunter Henry there and my jet ski, I feel like they might be trying to do the whole Gronk, Aaron Hernandez thing and run a 2 tight end set. I don't know, but because those are both big names, both tight ends I could play at the same time. I think probably my jet ski,
I'll tell you what, dude. If my jet ski gets accused of murder one before the draft, I'm drafting that full first round because I know he's going to produce.
And then I'm going to watch the documentary about it. It was a good documentary, man.
Woo! I have not seen that, but I like the whole storyline behind all that stuff, and it's just crazy what some of the rich, successful people get involved with. It's just like,
oh my gosh,
it's like, hey man, if you're rich and famous, stay out of the gang life because that's, anyways, whatever, dude.
That's why I decided to be poor. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to get caught up in that life, man.
I decided to be poor. I just want you write that down. I decided it was me who decided to be poor.
It was me.
My whole life.
Also, just so you know, Tyler, it was like I think their overall offense was just like kind of in scrambles last year because they were also 24.
Shambles.
What'd I say?
Scrambles.
They were in shambles. Their offensive line was in scrambles, man. They like them eggs. They like them eggheads. Shambles. They were in shambles last year. They were 24th in the league in rushing with 106 yards per game. So there wasn't a lot of production coming out of that team. But I do know Stevenson. I don't know what he averaged rushing yards per game, but he was probably the majority of the 106. Right? He probably was like 95 rushing yards.
Yeah. All right, Jason. So number one defensive player was Jonathan Jones, cornerback. He played 80% of snaps. He's 30 years old, and they're bringing him back. I don't think I think that Bill Belichick values knowledge of the system and stuff like that over age a lot of times because you remember the McCourty, McCourty, Devin McCourty or whatever his name was, dude. He hung around. He was like 34, 35. He might have been my age. So yeah, dude, I think that re-signing this guy is a big deal for them.
Yeah, I think that completely makes sense in that system. I mean, so you got that cornerback Jonathan Jones. They also re-signed their safety Jabril Peppers, who's 27. Number one.
This is beer number 6.
I thought you were doing like, oh my gosh, Telegay Nuts. Number one.
No.
Yeah, so on their secondary, they got their cornerback back. They got Jabril me Peppers. Hey, did y'all bring me?
I brought the peppers.
Jabril me Peppers. He's 27. They re-signed him for a 2-year deal. Jalen Mills, the other cornerback, he's 28. They brought him back. This is showing, especially on the defensive side, like if you already know the system, I mean, they're going to bring you back. So I think you're right. I think there's wanting knowledge of the system over the age. Except Devin McCourty, because that dude's 35 years old. They're like, dude, you just need to retire. And he did.
And they also re-signed Miles Bryant, who's the other cornerback, 61% of snaps. He's only 25 years old. But they're still, both of those guys are making a decent amount of money. They're paying Jonathan Jones almost $10 million per year, so that's kind of a big deal for them.
Yeah.
Ever since they haven't paid anybody since what's his name, dude?
Gilmore.
Because I was gonna say, you should know, Jason, your Cowboys big head.
Meow, 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 meow. Gilmore.
Gil.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't tell.
You stop, dude.
Yeah, well,
if I let you go, I'm gonna let you go. But yeah, as far as like percentage snaps goes wise, that's pretty much everybody they're losing on defense, really. But they signed the guy they really needed to sign, and then they signed their back end. Like it's the same thing, dude. They need pressure on the quarterback and help in the back end with dude, even against Tua. I mean, I forget what the Patriots record was against the Dolphins and the Bills. It's like 4 in the last 12 or 2 in the last 10. I can't remember what it is. It's something terrible.
Yeah, well, they had a great record for so many years, but they also had the GOAT as their quarterback. Now they don't have the GOAT as a quarterback, and the other teams have evolved. They're evolving, and now it's not the Patriots running that division; it's the Bills with the Dolphins trying to keep up. So yeah, you're right. You got to find players who can keep pressure on Tua and Josh Allen and possibly Aaron Rodgers. You know, there's a good chance that the Patriots might be last of their division next year.
Uh, Jason,
Yes, Tyler.
do you know who Coach Bombay is?
Coach Bombay.
Gordon Bombay.
Yeah, he's from Black Panther. Coach Bombay. Coach Bombay. Yeah, he's from the Mighty Ducks. He's like
I think that is part of Black Panther. Bombay.
it's hey Bombay. And what they say something crazy. Hey Bombay. Coach Bombay.
Dude, I was just gonna rewatch the first one because I was like, oh, the second one's pretty good. But I love the first one. I need to rewatch it.
I like both of them. The second one used to be like one of my favorites just because they had
Oh, no, with Neymar or whatever his name is. Yeah, no, you're right.
Rodriguez, the speedster.
Yeah, you're right.
When they went to the Olympics and they were like, he's like, I stopped because he was the fastest one on the ice, but he didn't know how to stop. And then when he finally did,
you're talking about Mighty Ducks. I thought we were talking about
you were doing this.
Yeah, but I thought we were talking about the Black Panther. I like the second one. I like the second one too.
No, they're all right. They're all right movies. Black Panther. Mighty Ducks are classic though, except the third.
Man,
you could trash that one.
I really like the first one. Anyways,
third one.
Oh, whenever they fight Iceland is one. I was like, dude, Iceland is going down. How does it? I will sell a boat to Iceland and get my ass kicked.
In 5th grade, I used to be like, I want everyone to know that the country I hate the most is Iceland. Because they don't play fair, and they all look like they're 35 years old.
They wear black.
Hey, good shot. Good shot.
Hey. Ah.
That's what he said to the goalie. Hey, or nice save.
Nice save.
Anyway, right. Dude, this is the NFL, not the NHL, dude.
Okay, Jason.
Yes, Tyler.
That's all I have for for their people. How do you feel about that?
That's pretty much all I got too. You know, Patriots.
They had a short list.
Yeah, they're not really. They don't get involved in free agency all that much. So they usually try to stick with the players that they already have.
Well, I'm on patspulpit.com, and their number one need is offensive tackle, Jason.
Offensive tackle, Tyler.
Yep. So under contract, Trent Brown, Connor McDermott, Andrew Stuber. But they were trying to get Orlando Jr., Mike McGlinchey, Jawan Taylor, but we've already talked about actually a lot of those. So yeah, dude. So they're gonna have to draft and do something about their offensive line.
Yeah, can you imagine even just having a negotiation talk with Bill Belichick? Like, they're probably like, I'll give you 2 years, $3 million to be my left tackle, Brown. Take it or leave it. You're mediocre. I could find you out in the corn patch, dude. I could pick you, you know? I'm not going to be paying you all this money. He probably be Atlanta Brown's like, damn, okay. I'm gonna go to Cincinnati.
It's a corn patch. What are the corn patches?
I have no idea, man.
Oh my god, I can't even drink this beer. That joke, whatever you just said, made my beer taste bad.
It's they have it out there in Boston and Massachusetts, dude. It's you have to see it to believe it type thing. Corn patches.
So, anyways, number 2, Jason, is a free safety. So, under contract, all they have is one free safety under contract. They were going after Jordan Bates or Jesse Bates, Jordan Pryor. They're still Duran Hammond. I don't even know. Julian Love, Kareem Jackson. Juwan Thornhill was signed by the Browns. So, again, they're gonna have to put together their secondary because McCourty retired and he was the free safety.
Yeah, you know, they're going to have to try to give like Matt Patricia some weapons out there to actually work around. So
Give him two pencils.
Yeah. He's like, you're not a good head coach, but you're a good defensive coordinator. Why don't you come working for me? I'll bring you out of them corn patches and come working for me. You know how them corn patches are out overgrown around Halloween in Boston? Come work for me.
What are you talking about?
Come back to
Say
me.
Halloween.
Around Halloween, corn patches grow high around Halloween. That's why we make little corn mazes around them. Little corn mazes.
All right. So free safety, we got that.
Tyler, you need to control yourself. Yeah, so they need to find players for Matt Patricia.
So yeah, like we said in this division, man, it's all about helping the back end and pressure on the quarterbacks with these with Tua and especially Josh Allen. Number 3, Jason, is wide receiver. So I still have Devontae Parker, Tyquan Thornton, dude. That's who it was. That's the speedster, and he's going to go into his second year with Bill O'Brien, a real offensive coordinator, and he just worked with college wide receivers successfully this last season. So yeah, dude, I could see them. I could see Tyquan taking a huge jump next year. He was like he might have been a first round draft pick, dude, but he more than likely was a second round draft pick. Oh, I want to say he was a first. They got rid of both Jacoby Myers and Nelson Aguilar. So yeah, dude, they need to actually draft. They were looking at like Alan Lazard, Darius Slayton type of people, but they need like real wide receivers on this team.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time the Patriots actually re-signed a wide receiver. They draft these people and then their contract.
Yeah, you're right. Because like even Moss, Neal, whatever his name was, that he drafted first round.
Yeah.
I mean, they re-signed Wes Welker a couple of times, but that was only because his skin color.
Shoot. Well, then they even let Wes Welker go while he was still pretty dang good, because then he went to the Broncos and Peyton Manning won another Super Bowl.
Sorry, man. I got to. Every time I think of Boston, I think of races. So it's what I think of. We're LA people, man. Just listen to the basketball players.
NB. That's what LeBron James is listening to him when he talks about this.
And who are the most annoying fans in the world, Jason?
The Raiders.
No, man. Well, we should say the Raiders because where we lived. But dude, Boston fans, man, oh my god, it's ridiculous.
I heard it was Philly. I heard Philly was the worst.
I actually like Phillies. I actually like because they'll punt. They'll at least like knock their own people out.
Yeah. They'll knock their own people out. Hey, man, it wasn't Donovan McNabb who won us a title. It was Nick Foles.
But yeah, I think it's all. Hey, if you want to blame my hate for Boston, go to Brockman on. I hate that Brockman guy, dude. Chris Brockman on Rich Eisen show. You're lucky you're friends with Rich Eisen, otherwise you wouldn't be anything. I hate you. All right, continue. Going forward, Jason. Nobody goes this deep in the video anyway, so it doesn't matter what we say. Number 4, quarterback. So yeah, they that's their number 4 need, Jason. I mean, we talked about that before. It's all about back end and stuff.
Yeah, we already discussed that.
Number 5, specialists, Jason. They say that the Patriots.
Snapper.
Dude, that's what they say. I swear to God, I think that's what they say. Oh no, they need punters because their punting was like the worst in the league last year.
Well, Bill Belichick, he likes getting left-footed punters because the way it's. I'm serious. He likes left-footed punters because the ball spins in the opposite direction when the punt returner catches it. It makes it harder to catch, I guess.
Yeah, because it's something unusual to the punt catcher,
Yes.
And the catcher of punts, but like, so also like Bill Belichick is a real like special teams guy. And I just heard a stat, dude. There used to be like 25 average special teams plays per game like 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And now there's 7. So like special teams is like getting phased out of the game. It's much less important.
Well, I mean,
Holy
Bill
crap!
Belichick has even petitioned to get the kickoff removed and just
Has he really?
yeah. I mean, this was years ago. He just petitioned it, and let's give him the ball at the 20-yard line.
That's how they won Super Bowls, like 5 of them. So I don't understand why that would be a deal with him.
Well, because it's what you're saying, Tyler. They're just phasing them out. It's getting phased out.
You know who I'm talking about, Jason?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what.
Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, why did you say him? I have no idea.
He won all kinds of Super Bowls for them Patriots with them field goals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. For some reason, Tyler, when you said Adam Vinatieri, I was thinking of Testaverde.
You know that guy? He was like a quarterback with that name. It's like that salsa I like.
Salsa Verde. Damn, that's good, Tyler. I'm jealous you came up with that. Sorry.
All right, Jason. That's it for the Patriots.
We got one more team. You want to take a break and hit them up?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you guys ready for the final team? Again, we apologize for being so drunk, but hey, if you were drunk as us, you'd probably be liking this. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't apologize.
Okay. Jason just admitted that I'm the expert and that he is the peon. He is the peon of the show. He is the peon.
I'm the submissive.
He's the bottom, but he generates the power bottom. He generates power.
That's why I do hip thrusts at the gym. I see the girls do it, so I do it.
No, I'm kidding. Jason is he's 51% of this show, for God's sakes. All right. So we already talked about every team, Jason, and I didn't even change my background because I'm so messed up. We're on number 6. If you guys are drinking with us, number 6 is a good number.
And tell us how to do this live. Well, so we've gone over every team in the AFC East, so we're going to end the show. Psych.
Jets.
The New York Jets. We need to talk about the Jets. They are hitting. They're one of the main talks this year when it comes to free agency, and part of the reason is because there's huge talks of Aaron Rodgers going there. Even though I kind of feel like it's died down a little bit, and it's to the point now where it's almost comical if Aaron Rodgers doesn't go there, because the Jets went out and got Alan Lazard, and then they traded Elijah Moore, which I believe they were just getting a second-round pick to give to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. But all this stuff is kind of happening, and still no word. It's like, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? But anyway, it's kind of making me just think, right? So I think the Packers are definitely done with Aaron Rodgers, but now I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't want to go to the Jets. But okay. So speaking of that, one of the main players that the Jets picked up this year, Tyler, when you're looking at me with disgrace, is Alan Lizard. He has slithered his way into the top wide receiver free agency pickup for the Jets, and they got him from Green Bay, and I'm pretty sure that Aaron Rodgers actually put him on the list. Like, if you want me to play for you guys, you got to pick this guy up. He's 27 years old. He's actually older than I expected, but they signed him for 4 years, $44 million.
Yeah. So, I mean, to jump on what you said, I just listened to an insider, whatever, Packers insider today. He said it's a done deal. Like, they're treating it as actually his name was Peter King. So it was not an NFL insider. It was like or Packers insider. It was an NFL insider. He was saying that it is a done deal as far as he's going to be a Jet on the Jets next year. It's just a matter of when it's going to be. Like, people are not surprised it's taking this long. they just know it's going to happen before the draft. So it's going to happen before the draft, probably 2-2s or whatever. So yeah, that's going to be their number one free agent acquisition. And then I forgot what you were saying after that.
When's the draft, Tyler?
I need to check. Isn't it like
April 27th?
I was just gonna say. I thought it was on my anniversary. So it's the 27th. You said
Thursday, April 27th.
Oh boy, I get to watch it.
Yeah,
I love watching the draft. I don't know why. I get really into it, man. Like right now, I'm like super into it. Anthony Richards just had his pro day and he looked really good. I'd like to see where he goes as far as if you're going to wait on a quarterback. We'll talk about that draft later on, though.
He threw a deep ball. He threw it so high that it actually hit the top of the stadium. Anyway,
don't play for the Cowboys then.
Oh, don't be. You break that TV, you bought it. Yeah. So the Jets went out, got Allen Lazard, and they let go or they traded away Elijah Moore for like a number 2, and then they also got McCole Hardman from Kansas City. I think he ended the season pretty much on IR. He got pretty banged up.
His abdomen got sore.
Yeah, he didn't have a 6-pack. He only had 5, so he was kind of torn up for that. And then
asymmetrical get you, man.
Right. His abs just looked like an F. It was like an F shape because he was missing so much. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because for passing yards a game, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Jets, I think they had like 3 starting quarterbacks last year, but they were still 15th overall, and they had 219 passing yards a game. And that's with 3 different starting quarterbacks, and one of them being Zach Wilson, the douchebag of all douches.
He's like, hey, did you let your team down? No. What'd you do today? 3 interceptions and 20 yards.
I was seeing ghosts.
I would rather have, dude, at least Sam Darnold takes responsibility for himself. It's like, man, dude, that guy just like, you need self-awareness, to like, for people to like you for the most part.
So, sorry, go on.
He does not have that. Jason, you don't have it.
I don't have it either. This is why I beg to be on this show because I got no support, man. I'm doing this like in the basement with the rats.
You're my best friend, Jason, so don't worry, you have support.
You're like, yeah, you could be on it, but you have to be in the basement. And out of those two out of the 3 starting quarterbacks last year for the Jets, Mike White, he went to Miami. We already talked about that. And Joe Flacco, MVP Super Bowl winner, he's in limbo right now at age 38. So right now they only have Zach Wilson, I do believe. But you're also saying it's basically guaranteed that Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. So they're 15th last year. They have the weapons, Tyler. We talked about this. They have the weapons. Even with Allen Lazard there, Aaron Rodgers already has a rapport with him. They should go probably in the top 10 on passing offense for next year.
Yeah, well, so they lost Braxton Berrios, but they're trying to, but they brought in Allen Lazard, who's for a third wide receiver. But we're assuming, I don't know if Odell Beckham was going to go there or not. If they can get Odell, he would be the third wide receiver. I don't expect Odell to go there. I expect Odell to go somewhere else. I don't know, man. I'll have to think about that more. Excuse me. And then I really liked Elijah Moore with Aaron Rodgers, and it kind of surprised me that they would trade him. But I guess to get Aaron Rodgers, you have to give him up. So, whatever. I guess if that's your trade, that's your trade. And then McCole Hardman with him, I don't know. I kind of almost see like McCole Hardman almost being like a Gray Jennings, because Gray Jennings, if you remember, he just kind of ran like 2 routes or 1 route, and he would just make long touchdowns all the time. But at the same time, McCole Hardman's been with the best quarterback ever in the NFL, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
McCole Hardman, he's going to get some rushing plays involved. The jet sweeps. He's kind of known for that, so he's going to get those.
So are the Jets.
They're the ones that invented and for the Jets, they just call it the sweep. Hey, we're going to do the sweep. Everyone knows. So he's gonna get some opportunities from that. But what do you think about a possibility of Braxton, the wide receiver that they got for him? Actually, no, he left. Never
He
mind.
went to. That's what I'm saying. Like he went
Went
to the
to
Dolphins,
Miami.
because I
So
do like Braxton Berrios. Like that would have been like if Elijah Moore left, that's Braxton Berrios' role. But they traded both of them, so that's what kind of confuses me.
so yeah, I guess they're gonna have McCole Hardman in the slot, right? So they're gonna have Lazard, they're gonna have Garrett Wilson, and they're gonna have McCole Hardman. They have to put him in the slot, right? They have to put him in the slot. So
Also, if you care, yeah, and if you care about kickers, Jason, Greg Zuerlein, who you should know about.
resigned
No,
or re-signed. Greg Zuerlein did play for the Cowboys. He played for the Cowboys.
yeah, I was like, did he? Okay, yeah, you're right. Because there was that he had a couple good years, but like if he's with Aaron Rodgers, man, think of Mason Crosby ish, maybe even more with a good defense, better defense. So I know I don't care about kickers, but him resigning there, like they could use a good kicker with Aaron Rodgers there.
Right. And they actually picked up Thomas Morstead, the punter from Miami. So 37 years old. He still has a boot as a captain on a pirate ship.
What's that one song, dude? Oh my god, what's that band we liked when we were in high school? This rum is burning, rum is.
Well,
I'm going down with the ship.
Census fell.
Burn the sails. Burn the sails. Yeah, census fell. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that.
For drinking.
Rum is for drinking. Yeah. Man, you guys don't even drink when you watch this show, but that's okay because we accept everybody.
Well, the two people who do watch the show, you and I, we do drink when we watch it.
Yeah, well, if you're this far deep in, you are Jason and I are just playing it without even watching it.
Yeah. Still Tyler on the offensive side.
Ty Johnson.
What'd you say to me?
Dude, Ty Johnson, who's like a physical freak, got re-signed. I'm surprised
the running
back. Yeah, for like $1 million.
Yeah. So they're having all their receiving core come back. I really like Ty Johnson, but there's like 4 running backs on that team.
Zonovan Knight could be good with Aaron Rodgers.
I like Zonovan Knight, but then you're gonna have Michael Carter Jr. or is he a junior? Michael Carter.
Yeah, and he's amazing. I mean, yeah, I know.
And Brees Hall. It's like you got, and you know what? I think all of them are pretty good running backs. They're pretty good, but there's only going to be 2, maybe 1 that actually really do well, like pass catching and rushing. I think that's Brees Hall. Brees Hall, he's going to catch the ball from Aaron Rodgers. He's a great runner as it is. Michael Carter, I think, is going to be like the DJ Dillon of the Packers, right? And then Ty Johnson and Knight are going to be in there in case of injuries and whatnot. That's what I believe. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think Brees Hall is going to be the one that really benefit. It's going to get that jump once he comes back.
Yeah, like I mean, can you compare him to Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon? No, because he's kind of a blend of both. He's really big. He's the size of, like, if you look at him and Ty Johnson, they're pretty much the same size and speed. But the thing is Brees Hall like has vision and whatever it is that makes a running back great. So but yeah, I mean, the biggest question in the offseason, as far as I'm concerned, is who is how healthy is Brees Hall going into the season? Because that's going to determine, dude, his like by rounds, his draft status. And if I can wait and get Brees Hall and just kind of get through the first half of the season with like whatever, I would do that. I would do that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that, Tyler. You're right. We've mentioned in multiple episodes that nowadays, when you come back from an ACL injury, you kind of need an extra year.
Adrian Peterson didn't.
Yeah, well, that dude was a tank. He was a machine. He was a T1000, dude. He didn't. He was something else. Yeah. So now I totally forgot about that. He's already going to miss some time coming back from the injury, and he might need some more time to even just get back to his regular self. He is still pretty young. Ooh, we're gonna have some. We're gonna have some questions. I'm gonna need some updates when we get around training camp of how Michael Carter's doing and his team. Whoa.
All right, Jason.
Yeah.
Is that everybody?
James Robinson also went to New England.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at. Oh wow. Yeah. No, we've got some stuff going on, but it's all deep. Oh, Connor McGovern, Jason. So is this the same Connor McGovern? I don't even
No,
understand.
it's his daddy. I don't know who this is.
So he played 100% of snaps. He's 30 years old. He's making 9 million. They have not re-signed him yet, and it's like, dude, like I said, it's a Shanahan offense. If it's really a Shanahan offense, you need to keep that center going because communication to all this, complicated offensive line stuff is important. So I think that Connor McGovern needs to be re-signed by them. I mean, his brother from another mother that had the same name. I don't understand. All multiverse is real. They got Connor McGoverns everywhere.
That's
And
good, Tyler.
all offensive lines. Yeah, dude. It's like Doctor Strange versus Doctor Weird. I don't think that's a thing, but hey, copyright that. Let me have it.
Patent pending.
Happy birthday, Jason.
Jason,
It's your birthday, Jason.
I really hope our listeners don't make it this far. They probably start unsubscribing. They're like,
Or man, they're mashing that subscribe button. They're like, holy crap, I never knew these guys were like this.
I'm gonna tell all my family. Tyler, they lost a guard, Nate Herbig. Nate Herbig went to the Steelers. Herbig.
Oh my God. Don't ever get rid of a lineman with a big in his name.
I know. Nate Herbig went to the Steelers. And then Dan Feeney, he went to Miami. We talked about that earlier. They did get a center from the Baltimore Ravens. He's only 24 years old. Tristan Colostrophe.
Tristan. What is it, a Triceratops?
Did you hear the rest of the name I gave him?
I don't even know. All I heard was Tristan.
Tristan Colostrophe. Have you seen this guy? Tristan Colostrophe.
His name is Tristan.
Colostrophe.
Cologne Castillo.
They got him from Baltimore. Baltimore gave them to him, and they were able to re-sign their tackle Adam Pankey. He likes pankeys in the morning. Some syrup and some butter, some buttermilk pankeys. That's what he likes. So they were able, they got the best pankeys in New York, so he decided to stay with an undisclosed contract. It says NA, but there's pankeys involved.
Oh my God!
I'm ready for the defense.
Yeah, we are on defense.
That was offensive line. Now I'm good on the defense. All right, so they lost defensive end Nathan Shepard. He went to New Orleans. New Orleans did lose somebody too. Didn't they lose Davenport as a defensive end? So
Yeah.
So now they got that replaced with Nathan Shepard, who's only 29 years old. And then their defensive tackle, Sheldon Rankins. We're sitting here, Rankins Sheldon. He's number 27 in the league as defensive tackle. He went to Houston. So they're losing people on their defensive line. They're losing people on the defensive line. It looks like I'm not seeing. It looks like they were able to keep like their secondary. Their secondary they were able to keep, and nobody left. So looks like it's kind of more or linebackers. Looks like it's more defensive line.
I mean, they haven't re-signed Kwan Alexander, who's played 50% for them at linebacker. But I mean, I think Robert Saleh was a linebacker. So,
oh, you're right.
They lost. Oh, jeez, dude. Oh my God, man. I'm like, my eyes are all watery from crying. LaMarcus Joyner played 77% of snaps for him, but he's 33 years old, so he's an old safety. Who knows if they'll re-sign him? And then they got Chuck Clark. Did you see that, Jason?
No, I didn't.
Safety from the Ravens. He played 106% of snaps. He's like out there on offensive plays, he's like 12th man. And he's like, I'm just trying to get my percentage up, dude.
I'm trying to make sure people don't understand the percentage of snaps. So I'll even kick the ball if you want me to. You need a field goal? You need like a 2-yard field goal, like a PAT? A PAT kick. Let me kick it, coach. Put me in
He's
there.
all, John Harbaugh, you'll peel my dead body off this field.
He gets the extra percentage because he's even like on the halftime show. He's with Rihanna. He's all shine bright like a diamond. He's like those freaking like puffy marshmallow costumes that they were all wearing. Sorry, coach. I got a dance rehearsal with Rihanna.
Megan, yeah, I get it. So, all right, Jason, that's everybody I see with the high percentage. How do you feel about that?
That's good. They also got a guard from Washington. An honorable mention, Wes Scheisweiser.
He sounds like a real shyster to me. But I do want to say that he probably is good because he had to go against a good defensive line for a while.
Or he could be bad because
Or he could be bad. He could be bad.
because Commanders were just actually more of our quarterback. But anyway, yeah. So I think that's pretty good for all the fantasy. What did the beat writers have to say?
Oh my God, Jason, I've been drinking way too much. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you ready? Jets. All right, the number one ranking top positional. This is from the Jets Wire, which is lame, dude. Get some cooler names like these other dudes. I forget the Finn Cider and the
Insider was pretty good.
It was the Buffalo Down. Oh my God.
That was pretty good.
Right? So offensive tackle, Dwayne Brown and George Fant are likely gone at some point this offseason, and neither are viable long-term options. So it's just like Alavera Tucker played very well at both tackle positions, but like in 2022. But they have a lot of injuries. They've got some, they could have some anchors at the offensive line, but they need to fill it up, dude. It doesn't matter if you have like 2 great offensive linemen. You need at least 4 or 5. It doesn't matter, man. You need all the offensive line help you can get. So that's their number one need.
Yeah. Well, George Fant right now has not been signed by anybody. He is 30 years old, though. He might be asking for a lot of money if he already didn't sign back with the Jets. But right now, he's in limbo. Hasn't been signed to anybody as a right tackle.
And I do want to say that the Jets are positioned in the draft at number 13. And so, dude, I've heard about this guy. And anybody with a ski or some Polish or some weird German, like Uthenwoldt, like you,
yeah.
if they had a name like that, I want to draft them as my offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So that's the top offensive tackle this year is Northwestern's Peter Skoronsky. And then they'd go to Paris Johnson Jr. or Broderick James. I mean, whatever. But still, like if they can get that number 13 pick towards an offensive tackle, like this is what they are suggesting at the time. That's what the people want. And then number 2, Jason, is center, because they say Connor McGovern is a free agent. I need to check to see if he still is. He still is. So he played 100% of snaps, 30 years old. And they say that they need another center.
Yeah, I mean he's not signed with anybody yet. He's in limbo. So if he's gone, I mean they did get, like I said, they got Tristan Colin Koloskopi from the Ravens, and he's 25 years old on a 1-year deal, $1,666,000. They did get it, but maybe they're looking for more of like you said, Tyler, an anchor, a vet.
If I made that much money in 1 year, dude, I would just retire.
I would pay for your retirement.
I would just be like, "Oh, you want to pay me $166,000 for an annual salary? Yeah, I'm going to retire after 1 year. Thank you. Pay off my house and just be done with it."
Yep.
All right, Jason. And then let's see. Next up, linebacker CJ Mosley, Quan Alexander, will one day not be behind the front 4 on defense. I don't understand what that means. But Quincy Williams is upcoming. impending free agency, and he's really good. So like, anyways, like the Jets, what draft options are Clemson's Trent Simpson, Arkansas's Drew Sanders, and Iowa's Jack Taylor. And those are all really good, linebackers apparently. But if I was a team these days, I wouldn't get a linebacker in the first round. I'd probably go like second or third.
Well, I heard just today that Clemson had one of the better defenses in college football last year.
Clemson did?
They're going to have quite a few defensive players drafted.
Okay. So, I mean, last time that happened, the Raiders, Mike Mayock was in charge of the Raiders. You know how that went.
Yeah. He's back to the NFL analyst.
I need leaders. I need winners. So guess what, dude? No, you don't.
You moved to Vegas.
Where you going to get your water from now, bitch?
They're running low on water. Bad call.
I hope you have Kevin Costner as a best friend, dog, because you ain't going to get no water.
I hope you got web feet for the future. Water World. That's what you said. Remember that? That's what you said.
Oh my god, dude! You remember that, right? Yeah.
You remember that?
Safety, Jason. Safety's next up. So
Well,
Whitehead had his moments, but so like they got like a free agent acquisition last year, Jordan Whitehead, and he didn't turn out.
Who was that safety that they had and they got rid?
Oh, it was Jamal Williams, but that was before Robert Saleh.
Right. Well, they're trying to fill that hole since then. I feel like your parents left you on Christmas.
I was doing a picture for our thing.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You say fill the hole? Oh my god. Hey.
I heard that.
Don't fill the hole, Banjo. All right. So, talked about safeties. Yeah, they need it. But we can talk about this one, Jason, because so wide receiver, they're moving on from Corey Davis and Braxton Berrios. So we saw that in the free agency. I think they might have re-signed Corey Davis. I don't know if they did. But yeah, dude, that just leaves Garrett, and they got rid of Moore, Denzel Mims, Jeff Smith, Malik Taylor, and Irvin Charles. Like, yeah, dude, if like I can see if I'm Aaron Rodgers coming into this, like I'm like, yeah, dude, I like Garrett Wilson. You might be able to get Elijah Moore away if it means something, another draft pick for defense or whatever. But I need to get Odell Beckham or whoever. He got Alan Lazard in there, but it's Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard is not going to do for. I mean, you think about, what's his name going to the Bucks? Tom Brady going to the Bucks this is not comparable whatsoever.
Yeah, and he also probably wanted a better wide receiver core than what he had for the Green Bay Packers. He's like, if I'm going to have this, I might as well just stay a Packer. So,
yeah, right. That's what I think the same thing.
Yeah, so he's like, I need you guys to go out and get people. Even though I do think with Alan Lazard going to the Jets now that they do have a better receiving core than the Packers, especially since Garrett Wilson's going to be in his second year. I really do like McCole Hardman as a number 3 option, a little speedster.
Are you a little speedster, Jason?
Uh-huh. My wife calls me the Flash.
She's like, I don't want no 0.3 second, man. I don't want no under 1 second, man.
Hey, sometimes we're late for work, though.
You're like, hey, man, I got things to do. I can't be spending all my time doing these things.
I'm like, babe, just hold your breath. We'll get this done.
Don't hold your breath. Okay, Jason.
Yes. PG, Tyler? God, bro.
Depending on where I stand, the light
Pixar
is lighting up my face.
What else did the beat writers say?
The beat writer said they're done writing about the beats.
All right. Looks like we finally wrote the book on this one.
I was like, did you fill up your notebook, man? Oh my god.
My notebook, I need to get a new one. This thing is pretty filled. Got some great start sit failures in this one.
If you want to start sit failures, what about the good ones, Jason?
Those don't exist.
Hey, go over what we got right, what we got wrong. Jason surprisingly got like a lot of stuff right this season. So if you're gonna listen to somebody, don't listen to Jason. Listen to me. Subscribe to me. Come on.
I know Tyler is the one with the skill, but I'm the one that pays the bill.
This is correct. He's paying all of everything. He's like YouTube Premium. Give me your
Free trial,
and then cancel.
Yes.
Biatch.
But don't tell him that, Mr. YouTube. I hope you're not watching this.
All right, people. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This is hopefully shorter than our last episodes.
You got
We're
10 minutes.
We're trying to keep it like, oh my god, so short. Find your favorite team, check it out. Please like and follow us or subscribe to us because hey, we start getting actually money for this if we get to 1,000 in some amount of hours. But hey, we're both poor. If you want to help us out, man, I know there's people in need, but we're in need. Help us.
Yeah, you should see my van. It's down by the river.
Matt Foley over here is thinking,
where I live.
Coach Bombay needs your help. You know, we're just coaching kids and living down by the river, giving life lessons.
Coach Bombay.
Anyway.
I'm a lifeguard during the summer.
Jason, say your goodbyes.
Goodbye. Go to the river and you might see me as a lifeguard on the summers.
He'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. And that is not a sexual reference.
All right, people. Catch you on the flip side.